Hey guys! Some really exciting things happened. And you probably read the title, so our game kinda went really viral before it even launched. And it's finally time to tell that story. It's February 2023. It's cold and rainy. Probably. It rains a lot here. We've been working on First of Us Function for years now. And it's going well. We have been making steady progress and got a few videos on the demo. With that we are sitting at 5k wishlists, which is halfway to 10k, the magic number we aimed for. I had just quit my job to go full-time game dev, and Mario is still working part-time at a university. So we are financially stable. We are about to release Killboy, a mini project that started as a game jam. Turns out this also went quite okay. So with me having more time and Killboy almost out of the door, we now have a decision to make on how to use these resources. We could get back to making regular YouTube content. Obviously, this has not happened. We could also push First of Us forward, but a rut has set in. We missed the ease in which content could just be added to a small project like Killboy, so we were tempted to start another side project. You know, when working on one game, we tend to write down all ideas and game concepts for other games to get them out of the system and have them for later. One concept for an auto battler stood out, and every few weeks we kept coming back to it to try out some new iteration of it on paper. Most of them went right to trash, because they would be too much for a side project. Combining inventory management with an asynchronous auto-battler seemed to be the final piece of the puzzle that was missing, so this concept seemed to be the perfect next side project. So we got to work and set up a new project in our favorite game engine, Godot. At the time it had a working title, Ultimate Dev Shopping, but it soon became Backpack Battles. We decided to develop it in secret for a while. It was nice to have something to work on just for us, like we did when we first started out, and it kept the pressure low.
We kept Backpack Battles strictly in our free time. 9 to 5 was reserved for First of Us. Nothing was allowed to cut into time for our main project. If anything, Backpack Battles could happen after that and on weekends. Without exaggeration, I have never been so inspired in my life. All those fun little ideas, like a space where the items become physics objects, or a pullable rope for rerolls, just clicked into place. The whole thing sounds like an insane idea, and like an insane workload, and yeah, it was. But it was also very fun and worked out extremely well. For First of Us, we had the most frustrating tasks ahead of us. We needed a localization system, and we needed to make the controller input. Very challenging and most of the time extremely boring. Nothing new and exciting to do for weeks. But we had Backpack Battles waiting at the end of the day, and managed to get a few additional hours of work in on it most days. We worked like this for 2 months, so it's early May 2023 now. In only 2 months of part-time development, Backpack Battles had a playable demo. We found a visual style that is fast to make, but that we also really like. And since the game is asynchronous PvP, we don't have to make any levels. And we don't have to make any opponents. It's always difficult to show an unfinished game, but we gathered our courage and sent the demo to a few game developer friends as a little playtest. Shout out to Tissue Ino, Igniting Spark Games, and Logan Lang. By the way, play Her Name Was Fire, Striving for Light, and Craft. We fixed a lot of bugs and issues for a month, made some basic balance adjustments, and kept adding items. And somehow over these 2 months, Backpack Battles slowly started taking some more hours. The original version of this game did not have crafting. It was a spontaneous idea in the last week of playtesting. We threw together a recipe system, declared some items that we already had as crafted items, and we were good to go. This gave the game a complexity that was missing before. We started thinking that we might just have something special here.
It was time to publish the demo. We threw it on itch and we made a Steam page. The core of the game was done, but we stood at around 50 items. So the biggest challenge was to add, well, hundreds of them. And then we had an insane idea. And I don't mean this as an insanely good, just insane in a mentally deranged way. Wouldn't it be great for marketing if we committed to weekly content patches that added items? Luckily we had a good workflow and we were able to churn out 2 to 5 items a week if we really tried. We worked our way up to over 100 concurrent players, which felt pretty good. Some large Chinese influencers started streaming the game, even though we had no localization yet. So we decided to partner up with IndieArc. The publisher we have for Furcifer, they immediately translated the demo, which made our Chinese players very happy. Supposedly. After this push, our baseline had around 500 concurrent players on average, and something became clear. This thing will soon be our largest game yet. In some way it already was, so our priorities needed to shift. Backpack Battles is the main project now, and Furcifer can wait and be a side project.
This means much more time and resources for Backpack Battles. We could finally add more ambitious items like this box that gives access to 5 gems. In 5 rarities, each with 3 different effects depending on how you place it. Or Goober that can combine with many different items, and then can be combined with all of them to make the ultimate slime. Also, we were so amazed by the dedication of our community. So shoutouts to our mod Gnob and Reside for so many hours of testing, item ideas, work on the wiki, and much more. And also shoutouts to everyone else who offered to help in some way. It really means a lot to us. We were preparing for the largest update yet. With version 0.5 we were ready for massive changes. And things that we thought were out of scope before. We decided to make bags movable, a drastic change that took a lot of code and was very controversial in the community at the time. Fun fact, it's now agreed to be a pretty good change. And we added subclasses, built defining items that can be accessed in the middle of the game, also controversial. We learned what it means to community manage a riled up fanbase, something neither of us had experienced before. And honestly, we still struggle with that. The problem is the following. Even if you make a change that 90% of players like, 10% of players won't like it. And they will be loud and sometimes really rude. Sometimes you have to ban them, and sometimes they vandalize the community wiki for weeks or insult you on multiple different accounts or start a smear campaign or... We had been working too much, and this was a very stressful time for us. But with the 0.5 update came a lot of publicity. Content creators started picking up the game. Some very big ones like XQC, Northern Lion, Admiral Baru, the German Let's Player Hand of Blood and many more. Even some of my favorite Hearthstone streamers like Dog and Harfu, Savids and Amars.
Wait, what's Grandma?
After Grandma.
There's Grandma right?
Yeah, I want to get there.
What the fuck?
It's an incredible feeling to have your favorite streamers play your game, and we can't thank them all enough. And the player numbers started to skyrocket. We went from 500 or 1000 players to 10,000 or even 15,000 concurrent players. And during the time, we had crashes. Our infrastructure broke down, and with all the newly added content, our balance was all over the place. But overall, the reception was very positive. We saw so much cool fan art and so many nice comments.
So where are we now? The big push went through. Variety streamers tend to switch games, and we are only a demo after all. We are still at around 2,000 concurrent players on Steam, and get many hundred wishlists every day. With that we have gathered over 400,000 wishlists. An amount that I cannot even comprehend. We decided to do an early access, because there is no way the content would not be a total mess otherwise. It's coming out March 8th, which is really soon, and we're super excited. So do you want to know how the early access launch went? Yeah, we would like to know that as well. There will be a video on that when it happened.